drive this bus of the Carlton Live Western Bar show. Apologies for being late. We've been left home alone without Mum and Dad today.
JR and Trev.
JR and Trev have decided to have an early night. So apologies if there's any technical issues. We're only driving this thing on a learner's permit.
Like your English is
like my English. Oh dear. So Frank, pretty miserable last couple of days, eh?
You reckon? No, I mean, there was a really good pay-per-view yesterday, the UFC. There was some really good fights on there. My man Francis Ngannou, namesake, he folded up Stipe. Really good pay-per-view.
That's not what we're here for.
Oh, the Formula One. Right, gotcha. Yeah, first Formula One race of the year.
No, mate. No. We're here to chat about how Carlton winning the AFL Nines on Thursday.
Oh, yeah, the AFL Nines. Nines?
Yeah, AFL Nines.
I reckon there's a sneaky reference.
Well, AFL Nines, it doesn't include tackling. and it requires a much reduced team. Isn't that what was happening on Thursday?
Yep, with half the back line barely in attendance.
We had 41 tackles compared to their 65. What is going on?
Yeah, that was abysmal. That was abysmal. Geez, I mean, you talk about skill errors and stuff like that, but it doesn't take skill to hunt the ball. There's no skill in it. It's just desire to help your mate out, to go one bit extra. Jeez. Yeah,
look, thanks for joining us, guys. G'day, Brett Parker. He says go Pies.
Go Pies?
Yeah, why not?
Surely he lost a bet.
Probably. G'day, John Stanford. Go the Mighty Baggers. Go Blues.
We didn't do a lot of going on Thursday night.
No. There was definitely no mighty tagging. Geez, my words are all over the shop today.
I tell you what. Yeah, terrible. Nearly as bad as our tackling.
John hasn't gone to bed yet. He's still seething.
Yeah, John, I 100% feel you. I woke up on Friday morning and I don't reckon I said 3 words to anybody until lunchtime, and I was just around my workshop. I grunted and groaned and just everything was too hard. Oh yeah, that was terrible. I said on one of the Facebook stream posts we were talking on there, I felt like a cheated partner that I'd just been cheated on. Just angry, upset, disgusted, sad, miserable.
It was depressing. I spent much of the next couple of days hanging my head, just angry. We need some. I mean, I feel it for all the baggers across Australia. How did you all feel, guys?
Yeah. 4-quarter efforts
is unheard of with the Blues. Yeah, Pearl. Look, I don't think we didn't play. I don't think that was the case. Certainly we had a better third quarter.
We had one good spell in the third quarter, yeah, where I mean, just, yeah, shell-shocked, really. I mean, as I said before, words couldn't, a bit like the way Simone started the show. I'm starting to, yeah, just couldn't string together a sentence at all. It was terrible.
How does everyone else feel about Thursday? Pearl, yes, you're quite right. Very disappointing effort. I think particularly on the back of round one, where we took it right to
dual reigning premiers. Yeah.
And I wouldn't have put Collingwood up in the top 4, but somehow they beat us.
Look, they weren't that good. Collingwood. We beat ourselves. We were fairly poor. I mean, I don't reckon the stuff we dished out on Thursday night, I don't reckon that would beat the muck and wooden thirds. It was pretty poor. Collingwood definitely aren't a top 4 side. They haven't played like it. I mean, think they pushed into the finals last year and into a grand final a couple of years ago, but I don't reckon they're that good.
No, and I agree with you. John Stafford. You felt really gutted. You were there, and third quarter was good, but really gutted and that we lost, and we played better against Richmond. Couldn't agree more. Certainly, the first 2 quarters, you're kind of going, oh, it's not completely lost. It's not completely lost. The third quarter, you're like, oh, we're up and about. We're in this. And I reckon I lost hope about 5 to 10 minutes to go.
Yeah, probably around there, probably even more towards 5 minutes in or 10 minutes into the last quarter.
I joined WA Blues up at the Campfield, and I think 10 minutes before the final siren is when I went, time for another beer.
And 4 shots.
4 shots of Jaeger.
Tequila.
John, look, having a look at the team stats, you could drop half a dozen players and not miss them. I think,
100%.
That brings us into what went terribly wrong. What went wrong?
I still reckon a lot of it is desire, heart. Want to be there, want to do well for the navy blue and the monogram on it. I just don't think it was there for a lot of players. I mean, we heard a story today, didn't we? Was it on Fox News or something like that about Cripper playing injured and needing injections before every game to get up. How
true is that? Does anyone know how true that is? I only saw that on the socials about.
It was a credible website. That was Fox News or something
about
like
an hour
ago.
So I'd love to hear if anyone knows if that's confirmed. But I think that also plays into the fact that our depth is injured, particularly in the back end and the centre.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that that's hurting us. What was his touches? Were at about
21 touches, 22 touches. He still toiled away. He's obviously playing injured. You can see it.
Yeah.
But to get confirmation of it today is sort of puts it into perspective.
It wasn't surprising anyway.
And I reckon, I don't know, I have not heard anything, but I reckon there's a sneaky suspicion that Levi's also carrying something. So not entirely sure, but 100% from what John was saying there, easily drop half a dozen or even 8 players and not miss it at all.
So what did go wrong apart from those sort of points? Is it because I think we actually lost the game in the back end. I think when we've got guys that just how many possessions did Plowman have again?
16, I think.
16, and how many of those were efficient?
It was rolling about 75% efficiency, but just 10 uncontested possessions. He's just picking daisies across halfback. Had 4 or 5 sausages kicked on him by bloody Jordan De Goey.
It's almost like he was standing aside and going, there it is.
Yeah, absolutely. He wasn't up and about. He wasn't. And then obviously the cracking up jokes with old mate after the game, Grundy or whatever his name is. That's I can't be copping that at all.
That's been put to bed, that story, because the story was that he was having a laugh at the cheer squad. The cheer squad has come out and said that is in fact not true. So maybe they were just having a laugh amongst themselves. Maybe someone farted.
Irrelevant, I reckon.
Yeah.
I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't smile for 24 hours, and I wasn't even playing the damn game. So
well, that's right.
You've got to
There's no room for smiling.
No, laughing, carrying on. No thanks.
No, not when we lose to the filth. Some other things to consider is we had 22 shots from 60 inside 50s.
Yeah, so I don't think it was all in the back end. I mean,
no, probably not.
And quite surprisingly, What was the stat you had about the top 3 goal kickers?
Oh, well, that's right. So of the top 5 scorers for the match, we had 3 of them.
Yeah.
So what went terribly wrong?
I don't know. None of it makes any sense at all.
John Stanford says, oh, no, I've read that one. Sorry, John. Steve Andrew, our cousin. G'day, mate. Look reasonable when we have the ball, but when we don't have the ball, there was no effort. Is it the coaching? Don't know.
Everything's got to be looked at. Everything's got to be looked at. I mean,
absolutely.
I know there is sections of the media and to an extent Carlton supporters that are anti Teague's coaching ability. Reckon he hasn't got it. I mean, I don't know whether he has or hasn't, but maybe it is time to. Surely that's got to be reviewed by the footy department in general. Do we put better people around him, a mentor role, or more so a better assistant coaches? I don't know what it is. There's just so much that went wrong. It's hard to pinpoint. It's almost like a clean slate drawing board for next week.
I had a look at Teague's post-game presser, and he did kind of indicate that the fellas have to work for their positions now on the field, and I hope he follows through with that. We've got so much depth now. There's absolutely no reason why we should be taking second class.
No, we shouldn't. But it's really difficult when we play that poorly. As John said earlier on in the piece, you could drop half the side.
Yeah,
and you can't realistically do that because then you're just really going to get pantsed. But you've got to pick the ones who did the least and drop them.
Yeah,
I think you just got to be brutal about it.
Some other things that I think went wrong is we had 61 percenters compared to their 43. 61 percenters. Yeah. So we're obviously not making the most of them.
Those are the little things, like your shepherding and pressure acts and things like that. So again, that just points to what went wrong.
What went wrong?
We in some areas we were on top of, more inside 50s, but we showed that we didn't do enough with them, even though we had a lot of goal scorers. The back line did terribly, but the tackling again, you touched on it earlier. Yeah. 40 tackles or 41 tackles for the game
compared to their
70 something,
65. Yeah,
I had a quick look at the stats, and I think the only defender I saw, Doherty didn't have a tackle. I think Plowman had 1 or 2. I think Sard had 1. Not a lot of tackling once the ball got into the defensive 50. There was a little bit more tackling up the ground. Midfielders and forwards and the like, but there was just not enough hard work going on in the back line.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's where we went wrong. I mean, apart from, there's quite a number of things, but I think that's probably what hurt us the most. So, g'day, Paul Lenzerini. Get rid of Jones and Plowman, please. So
Plowman, yes.
Plowman's got to go.
He's gone.
He was about as handy as an ashtray on a motorbike.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stopped nothing. So he's got to go. Sorry if he's anybody's favourite, but he's got to go back to the twos and earn it. Yeah.
Jones, nah. I don't. Nah. He's been off this year. Hasn't played a huge year so far by his standards. But at the end of the day, he still takes the best key forward the opposition has every week. Does a job.
It depends who he's working with too. Do you know what I mean? Like let's look at who was up that end of the field. So who do we have? Setters?
No, he's more of a wing. Nunes.
Plowman.
Tresky-Seaton, Plowman.
Tresky-Seaton.
Sard.
Yeah.
Dog. So the back six has been pretty much the same for quite a while. And
maybe it's time to change it up.
Yeah, I don't know that there's no one to come in that's going to replace Jones unless maybe Levi goes back there. But Jones for mine, he'll pick himself for a couple more weeks, I think.
Just on Levi, Steve Andrew, he isn't carrying his own weight.
No.
So I've always liked the idea of him up back or down back, purely because he's got the best mark in the business.
Yeah, he's got the best pair of hands when he can. He doesn't even need to get a jump at it. He's such a good contested mark. So
yeah, maybe that's a change we make.
The problem is his kicking is a liability. That's the only, unless you've got Doc and Sard running past for a hand pass and they can distribute the ball. That would work. But Levi, he's kicking.
He can bomb it back out to the midfield though. We need him to be accurate, but
he just bombs it.
Because if he's down the back line, it gives us a little bit of depth. We've got so much depth in the forward line. Like the guys have to actually earn their spot. But with our depth injured down back, maybe Levi down there.
Yeah, we haven't seen any injury reports, but there was no VFL scratches on the weekend, so obviously still no Marchie.
If anyone's heard any news on whether we've got Marchie and Newman coming back, let us know because we haven't heard anything.
Yeah.
Brett Clarkson. Shattered guys, I called it. I think we're all feeling the same way, mate.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I picked it. I would say that.
Oh no, I was
probably doing the early crow, and
100%. I was doing the early crow.
And I had I made a little prayer to the footy gods the next day. I shall never crow early again.
No, I like going the early crow.
No.
I don't care. But and I suppose that's sort of confidence we need to be having with our footy club. That confidence has gone again for another few months. But after what we saw against Richmond, what we saw with the Filth the week before when they got done by the Dogs, I thought, no, this is us now.
Yeah.
And
we'll see. John Svitten says, disappointed, Pies aren't much better. Is JSOS back? I need McGovern. I need to beat the Dockers. We wholeheartedly are behind you with that one. We absolutely have to beat the Dockers because if they win, I'm leaving WA. There's no way I could deal with the Purple Muppets.
No, Purple people eaters.
Purple people eaters.
That's yeah. I think I don't know. I don't think the Dockers are playing that well either. No Fife.
Well, yeah, and we'll talk about that a bit later about next week's matchup. But yeah, as much as we don't like to see somebody concussed, and of course that is an automatic 12 days off, and at least until he's cleared. So that's probably a bit of a silver lining for us. But like I said, we don't like to see anybody concussed.
No, we don't. We certainly don't.
John Rowe says the midfield needs an overhaul. Let's chat about that. What do you reckon?
It's a big call, but it's not that far off the mark. I don't know that it needs an overhaul. I think there's enough there. It just needs to click a little better. Does the overhaul mean maybe putting an SBS in there or trying something completely different? Maybe so. If Cripper is playing sore, do we stick him in the forward line and run Gibbons through the middle? He's certainly a nugget.
Or maybe put Cripps down back.
Yeah, it's an option. I mean, I know you're really pushing the back line being terrible bit.
But who goes in for Cripps?
Well, if
obviously he's playing sore because who goes in for Cripps?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If we shoehorn him into a forward pocket sort of role, then Gibbons becomes your inside midfielder. You've still got Walsh, which is this year, head and shoulders our best midfielder. Paddy Dow, I reckon he's not playing that poorly. I reckon he stays another week.
Yeah, because he's quite efficient. Touches weren't as high, but
but they're all contested.
Yep.
Or 80% of them are contested. So he's in and under. I reckon he's battling away. Yeah, definitely not. I don't know that it needs a full overhaul, but I don't think JR's far off the mark with the midfield needs some attention as well. I mean, with some of the inside 50s that were going down, I mean, it's, not hard to understand why they were in so much pressure, because the ball was just coming down. Pendlebury, Taylor Adams, they were running the ball down pretty quickly and without a lot of pressure. So,
yeah,
it's definitely some merit in that.
Yeah. So John also reckons that anyone who didn't lay a tackle is on the chopping block. I'm with you there, John.
Yep.
Otherwise, we'll have to get on the phone to Gillen and say, no, change it up to AFL 9s because no one wants to tackle anymore.
Yeah, 100%. I reckon anybody, and they'll put that up on their post game analysis meetings and stuff like that. I reckon they should be anyway, outlining the players themselves, naming them.
Yeah.
Who didn't lay a tackle, because it's a bloody joke, absolute joke.
Yeah. I mean, you could probably get some under 16 girls that would lay more tackles.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, the girls, they love tackling.
They love it.
They go like a bullet.
That's the thing. Tackles aren't a highly skilled thing to do.
No,
it's only highly skilled.
No, it's just desire
to not hurt yourself.
Yeah, you don't want to hurt yourself.
Yeah,
you got to protect yourself. But you still, it's all desire. It's all heart.
Grunt.
Want. Yeah,
which is what I think is lacking.
Big time.
That's probably what's lacking in the midfield, John, I reckon, is the grunt.
Yeah. And I touched on it after Richmond's game, that I thought we just aren't hard enough. We're not trying to fly the flag when our players are getting bullied. We haven't got that hard-nosed, aggression that a lot of teams have. But
Cousin Steve reckons, hold on.
How you going there, mate?
I'm trying to drive this bus.
I hate when you do that, because when you put it up there, I can't read it here, so I'm then relying on you to read it.
No one knows what you're talking about.
I don't even know what I'm talking about.
So, John Rowe left this bus for me to drive today, and I suddenly felt like that movie Speed, where all you
can't slow down. You die.
I'm Keanu Reeves, and that's Sandra Bullock, and all hell's going to break loose with this bus. So Steve says, thought SPS showed some great desperation at times, saved a couple of goals. Thought Fogarty was brilliant.
Fogarty was ace, definitely.
Fogarty was one of my top three.
Yeah,
easy days.
Yeah. 100%.
I agree with you, Steve, about SPS. I saw an improvement in him on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
There was a little bit more grunt, just not enough.
Enough. I don't know whether I've gone a bit soft, because last week I was calling for big changes, 4 or 5 changes.
Well, SPS was out for us.
100%.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Did he do enough to warrant hanging around for another week?
I don't know. We'll talk about our ins and outs a little bit later, eh?
Mm-hmm.
But we don't always agree on SPS for in and out this week.
No.
So we've got, hey, Georgie, how you going? Evening,
Georgie,
people.
How we doing, buddy?
How's it going in Cal? Hope you're having fun up there. John Stanford says, ploughing out. Yep, completely agree. I think half of Australia's behind you there.
Except for Freo supporters.
I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if he was wearing a Carlton jumper or a Collingwood jumper if for mine. Brett Klassen says, can you fit Levi Jones and Weeders down back? No.
No, I don't think so. Especially not against Fremantle, because they've only got really one tall forward. And obviously we're sort of, our ins and outs are coming, but we've got to concentrate more on the Freo game, and I think they've only got Matt Tabernar really, and then they've got Darcy who rolls forward as the ruckman. So
yeah,
I don't know that Freo's tall enough to run those 3 big fellas in the back line.
Tony Prowse, said it last week. We'll say it again. Murphy has passed it, far too slow and soft. Yeah, look, I would have said the same thing last week. I wouldn't have said too soft. I think he's a classy player.
He is.
He is a classy player.
He's not the 23, 24-year-old Murph that we remember.
No, and we're not going to have that. But what he brings now is efficiency. So when he's got the ball, he's efficient.
Yeah.
And certainly with one of Gibbons's goals this week, you know,
the first one, I think.
The first one, Murph, you know, classy handball to him to assist in that goal.
Yeah.
Look, I don't know if where to put him, but
he still stays on a forward flank or a forward pocket or something like that. And again, the week before after the Richmond game, I was calling for him out, and I wanted Eddie Betts in. Would it have made a difference against Collingwood? I don't think so. I don't think so. We were just that bad. But I think again, has he done enough to keep his spot for another game? I think there was far worse players, and he said, I don't know.
Look, I think there's others that need to go first.
They'd be loath to change, you know, as John said earlier, 10 or 8 or 10 players. Or
you can't go cutting a lot.
No, you can't. So,
Brett Klassen says Williams down back, Doc to the middle. I don't mind that.
What was that one?
Williams down back, Doc to the middle. I don't mind that at all. I think that works.
Yep. I mean, Doc's no tackles on the weekend probably is not going to help that argument. But if he does go in the middle, that does bring him closer to the ball. I think that's worth a shot.
Yeah. Who else we got? John, Nick, Nana, still 3+ weeks away. JSOS and McMuffin close to fit.
So basically, they won't play this week, is what I'm taking out of that. JSOS and McMuffin.
No, probably not.
No, they may be playing this week. But and even still, I mean, I think the way Sauce played the scratchies and round one before he went down, he's almost coming straight back in when he's fit. McGovern, he's got to prove himself in the twos. I think he's by no means a walk-up start once fit. I don't think a couple of good games in the twos or even one, but he's got to get some match fitness. He's got to show that, you know, he can turn it on and get it done. And down back maybe, like his brother. Could be a thought.
Could be. So who are your ins and outs? So we were talking about Murph earlier. Look, because I don't really want to change the forward line too much. Well, I wouldn't want to see the forward line change too much.
No.
I would probably, if anything, if JSOS was fit, swap him for Murph. That's about it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's about all.
Didn't see that coming.
And the only reason being is I would have Murph as the sub because, you know, like he can run on whenever and be effective.
But then that would be sending Omac out of the side altogether because he's been the sub the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe Omac goes in for Murph this week if JSOS isn't fit.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I think Omac comes in anyway. I mean, we need something different. We seem to be opposite ends. I mean, you definitely trying to fix the back line. I want to fix the forward line a little more.
And JR wants to fix the middle. So between three of us, we'll sort it.
We're getting a win on the weekend.
Just ask us. We'll sort it.
Tell Brad Lloyd to give us a call. We've got his match committee sorted.
I think I saw a comment up there. Teague's gone. Look, no, with us three, me, you, and JR.
We'll save him.
We'll save him.
Teague, you just give me a call, mate.
Yeah, look, I don't want to buy into sacking the coach kind of conversations anymore. I think we've been doing that.
Not yet anyway.
No, not after round two, for God's sake.
No.
We've been doing that for how long? And you know, you can't keep doing it. I think we've just got to. Other changes need to be made. Maybe the assistant coaches, I don't know. But
well, I tell you, I'll give you one analogy. The Tigers were calling for Damien Hardwick's head. They were chopping up their membership tickets. They were burning their scarves. And then Peggy O'Neill and Brendan Gale, they sort of stuck fat and they said, no, we're going to keep Damien Hardwick. We're going to sack most of the assistant coaches. And they did. Got in new ones. Played for a flag the year later. Missed a year. Gone back to back. So
So maybe that's where it's needed.
And I'm not going to start saying that David Teague's the next Damien Hardwick, but it's too early to start sacking the head coach at this stage.
Yeah. A couple of suggestions there from Brett and Steve. What about Omac in for Casbolt? That's probably not a bad idea.
No, I like it. I did say last week that most weeks Casbolt sort of picks himself because he does enough around the packs and splits them. He contests most balls. He does clunk good marks.
Yeah.
Of course, 3 of his 4 kicks are going to come off his shin, but he still hits the packs. He still does those things. So, but I don't know. He's just not moving around as well as he used to.
And
is he carrying something?
Maybe he has an injury. Maybe he's a bit sore somewhere as well.
I suspect he's carrying something. So, there's nothing wrong with that one at all.
So what are your other changes? Like I mentioned earlier that I want to cut stick with chopping and cutting the back line. So for mine, Kennedy, Stocker, I've even put Omac in the back if there's no space up front. But if we can find space in the front, then he's okay. So I've got Kennedy, Stocker, and Cottrell. Plowman and Willow out. And Setters out.
So it looks like, I haven't got as many. It looks like we're differing on one. So I've got Kennedy, Stocker, and Omac in.
Yep.
With Plough, Williamson, and Setterfield out.
So you're keeping SPS?
I think I've just found a spot for him after his game. I was sort of don't want to make too many changes. I see, JR's gone with 4 or 5 there. I don't know. I'd definitely start with 3. I don't know that we're going to worth doing any more changes, but after his game, I don't know. He had a bit of a bounce back, so I'd say he gets another game.
Well, see, the reason I'm going for Cottrell is because
Cottrell over SPS.
Yeah, Cottrell over SPS.
Yeah,
is because he'll bring a bit of grunt to the game, and he's a bit more efficient. I don't know.
Definitely would bring a bit of grunt to the game. That's a good call, Simo. Definitely. He's. Do you remember Mitch Robinson, plays for Brisbane?
Yeah.
Sort of reminds me of him, even though they're both rangers. But he does have that sort of hard edge, that sort of that bit of extra grunt. So good call.
Yeah, I don't know, but as far as SPS goes, we did see improvement in round 2, so maybe give him another crack. But definitely Willow, Setters, and Plowman out. I just feel that they were passengers.
Yeah, Willow had 5 touches.
Literally on the platform at the train station watching the train go by.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, without their Mikey tickets or whatever they call them.
Yeah, no, they didn't even get on.
Riders.
They didn't even get on the train.
No.
They were just watching it. So who else we got? George reckons Omac, Stocker, and Cunningham should come in.
There's a lot of love for Cunningham.
Yeah, I like Cunningham.
Cunningham. Yeah.
A
lot of love for McDonald to replace Casbolt too.
Yeah. Okay, I like it.
Yeah, I don't mind. I've got no problem with it. I know Trev. He'll be a bit upset.
Yeah.
Having Levi out, but I know we got to mix things up a little bit. So.
Any other suggestions for ins and outs? So John reckons Levi's out, Murph's out, Setterfield, Willow, and Plowman are out.
And there's nothing wrong with that. The only thing I just err on the side of caution is just making too many changes. That's all. But you can make a solid case for all of those players not playing next week.
That's why I kept my changes predominantly in the back line, because I thought originally I was just cut stick all over the oval. Yeah. But then I thought
at one stage I had about 8 changes, and I thought, this is just not going to work.
And then you're like, are these guys even going to gel?
Yeah.
Are they going to know each other's name? Justin Mattmore, thanks for joining us, mate. Doherty should be dropped too. Ooh, I don't know about that. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, 0 tackles does give me the shits like you wouldn't believe.
Yep.
But he did have
24 disposals.
560 metres gained. So that drive off the back line with Sard as well, and I think they had another 560 odd metres gained. So we need that drive, especially if we are having some issues up the ground with the midfield. We need that run and carry out of the back line. So, I don't know that Doherty's getting drops.
Yeah, no, maybe not. George Kyriakos Kennedy. Yep, he's in for mine.
Yep, he's in mine.
Yeah, who's definitely in for mine.
Yeah.
I
like Stocker as well. I mean, there's a lot of talk about. I've been talking about Stocker since the scratchies, because I think he had a really good scratchy pre-season in the twos.
A couple of weeks back. It was around about the time of the pre-season game.
Around the time we played St Kilda, I think it was, the Community Shield job. He had a good game. He had another good game against the Richmond twos. I'd Stocker straight in for mine. Yeah.
So JR reckons apart from Stocker, Omak and Jesus, Eddie and Parks in.
Luke Parks, I think it is.
Yeah.
Tall defender.
I wasn't able to get any updates on Luke Parks.
He had a good game against Richmond.
And Steve reckons he looks great. Maybe throw him in now in defence.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Like I said, he did have a good game against Richmond in the twos a couple of weeks ago. He was definitely in the best handful. So
is Jesus ready?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, I think they'll probably give him one more week just to be on the safe side.
Yeah. Eddie Betts is an interesting one, and we chatted endlessly about Eddie, didn't we? We want him in there for his
the X factor more than anything else. He's got he's got that pressure around the ball in the forward line. Absolutely.
But for mine, as far as Eddie goes, I think the reason I didn't put him on in my mind is because going on our history over here, granted it's over here against Freo, and Murph has stepped up.
Yeah.
So that's
the thing. It's hard.
That's why he's kind of not gone for mine this week.
Yeah, because you're along the same sort of thought process as me that if Eddie comes in, Murph's to be the one that goes out.
Yeah.
Given the similar ages, similar fitness levels, less rotations, longer game times, it's hard to carry two.
You can't have them both.
Two old boys. So I agree with you. So Murph's still hanging on to his spot, I think. But Eddie Betts, Simo and I did chat for ages about Eddie Betts. I really want him into the side, but like I said, I just can't. You just have to be Murph that's getting replaced.
I can't help but think if Eddie was on last week, it would have made a difference.
Oh,
maybe not.
Maybe a goal. But that's it.
Stocker has always been lauded as a competitive beast. Exactly what we need.
Yeah, and
absolutely agree.
Played a couple of games late last year, or a good handful. I think he had a good 5 or 6 games. He's an in and under inside mid. So definitely part of JR's midfield overhaul. Yeah,
definitely.
Sure.
Yeah. George Sidovan, it doesn't matter who you put in. Blues need a win. That's pretty much the short and tall of it.
That's absolutely
to go 3-0. There'll be anarchy.
If we go 3-0, zip 3, I think is the way to say it.
0-3.
Yeah, Owen. I'm already done with fucking Owen memes. Let me give you the tip.
I had a mate text me the following day, and lucky I didn't see him in person, and the text simply was, Owen.
Just
come here.
Just come here, mate. But is it the end of the season then? Or am I being a bit too dramatic?
Oh, look, we're only 2 rounds in.
Yeah, but if we go zipping 3, that's then what I'm worried about.
Look, we did. There were some good things that happened on the weekend.
Yep.
So besides the fact that we're crying and miserable and
we've carved up the team.
And
Simo sacked the back line. I've sacked the forward line.
JR sacked the
midfield.
So we're starting from fresh.
Yeah.
But some of the good takeouts of last week was like I mentioned earlier, of the top 5 scorers of the match, we had 3 of them.
Yeah.
Geez, it's good to have some forward line depth.
Yeah.
How long's it been that we didn't?
Yeah,
Haven't.
It's been a while. It's been a while. We were relying on Levi to kick a score, and like I said, Levi will take the marks all day. But like I said,
we'd watch Levi like this.
3 of his 5 kicks have come off his shin. So
yeah. And look, H was our Goose of the Week last week. And he was only Goose of the Week as opposed to anything more sinister because he actually had a ripper of a match.
Had a good match. He just fell over his feet a couple of times.
Yeah, he just had a couple of brain farts. And, of course, he turned it all around this week and booted 4 and said, I've played 50 AFL games, guys. Calm down. I'm not bad. Just watch this space.
Yeah.
I think everyone can agree.
Who even is Max King, he reckons? That's
yeah. So yeah, H was such a positive for the week.
Fogarty was one of my highlights. I mean, there's quite a lot going on. You've mentioned some goal kickers, and you know how good was Gibbons' goals, but the
Wayne Harms pocket.
The Wayne Harms pocket strikes again. Jeez, it would have been good. You could just picture that Collingwood, if we'd have won, Collingwood going on about the Wayne Harms pocket. That would have been. Yeah, that would have been something else. But no.
If we'd have won, they would have been salty as.
Levi sort of half pushed out a kick out there that was sort of looked at one stage like it was heading out of bounds on the full, but did pitch in. Gibbo got the easy bounce, sold some candy, and then kicked from out of bounds, and an absolute ripper of a goal. So yeah, definitely a highlight.
Yeah. One of my other highlights is
Georgie.
Plowman wins Goose of the Week. Well,
I tell you what, you're not far off the mark.
We were going to leave that till the very end. But yeah, he's definitely up there.
Definitely a contender.
A contender for Goose of the Week.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was a goose or just playing out shit. So yeah, keen to hear everyone else's ideas on who wins the Goose of the Week.
So put up some ideas.
It's a very coveted award that we award here at the Western Bar on Carlton Live.
Yeah.
And so there's only how many rounds are there?
22 or 23.
23 rounds or whatever. So there's only 23 people that can win it, and we'll probably have a best of at the very end, best of the Gooses. So let us know who your Goose of the Week is.
The highlights, we were at before. Let's see some highlights there, guys. Who do you thought? I mean, we've put up a couple already.
Yeah.
We won't take them all. Let you guys have a bit of a crack and let us know what was your highlights. I mean, it was pretty hard to go back and think of highlights when it was terrible, but yeah, there is some nuggets in there to like. So yeah, we might as well celebrate it.
Yeah. So I think Gibbons, 3 goals.
3 goals.
And my best on. And I told you this through the week when we were talking about who's our best on.
Mm.
And I said who did I say? Walsh, Fogarty, and Martin.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's clear that we could lock Martin in for my best on every round.
Yeah.
That he plays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could have an absolute mare, and you'd still have him in the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time he's got that ball, I just love him. Mm. He's got that grunt. That's what it is.
Mm.
We need a few more grunties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And grunt takes many different forms. It's aggression at the player, it's aggression at the ball, it's just the desire to go a little bit harder than you did the last time. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Oh, Mumsy. Levi cost me $5 bloody to kick the first goal. He was directly in front, an idiot.
Levi's Goose of the Week.
Yeah, that's a fair nomination.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, cost Mum $5.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cuzzy Steve reckons it can't be anyone else but Plowman for Goose of the Week.
So who are your best ons, Frank?
Pretty much the same, but I'm going to sit on the fence and have a top 4 because Harry's. Yeah. So Walsh, Gibbons, Martin, And then Big H, Jules 4, after you cooked him on Goose of the Week, he comes back and says, fuck you.
Watch this.
Here's 4 snaggers.
I've only played 50 AFL games. Just calm down.
Yeah. Very good. So, definitely tied for third there, I reckon. The best on. Goose of the Week.
So here's another nomination for Goose of the Week. Trevor Wallard. What did he do to deserve that nomination? Is that because he's not here, or?
It sounds like John's giving him the blame for cooking the Buzz episode.
Oh, cooking the Buzz. Speaking of that, there were some technical issues on driving this bus thing last week when JR and Trev were going to have Buzz on. He will be on tomorrow night. John, correct me if I'm wrong, 7:30 Eastern time, which is, surely you guys have finished daylight savings by now.
No, it's not too.
Okay, John,
maybe next week. I don't know.
Hit me up with the proper details.
Yeah. It was we'll wait a while here, so the curtains fade if you've got daylight savings, so we don't have it.
No, we got plenty of sun. We're all right. Justin Mattmore, highlights, Gibbons goals. Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, especially the Wayne Harms one. That reminds me, another contender for Goose of the Week. The umpire that didn't call that out of bounds.
Yeah, the umpire. Although it was really good, and I'm kind of glad he didn't, because it set up a good scene and good goal, and could win goal of the year out of it potentially. But yeah, he's a bit of a goose.
Yeah. Steve Andrew, no Fogarty for best on group. Yeah, no, he was in mine, mate.
100%. But we wanted to stick with the top 3, just to make it a bit interesting.
He was in my top 3. He might not have been in your top 3.
No, he wasn't.
He was in my top 3.
You said Gibbons, Walsh, and Martin.
No,
yes.
I didn't. Read it.
You did.
Walsh, Martin, and Fogarty. You were looking at my ins.
No. We'll go back and watch it. We'll go back and watch it. 100%. You said.
But
Walsh,
this
Martin,
isn't recorded, so how are we going to go back?
You dickhead.
Announcement tomorrow morning on Buzz. Internet down in Mandurah tonight. Okay, so hold the phone on the Buzz.
Does he live down in Mandurah?
Yeah, he's just down the road.
Mm.
Wonder what he's doing to watch the game.
I'll work in Mandurah.
Yeah, tell him to come over here, mate.
Mm.
Yeah.
We're just pinching his star lineup.
Yeah. So some other highlights of the week. The girls finished with a W.
Finished the season with a win.
Yeah, beating GWS by a nail-biting point. And, of course, we say goodbye to, well, I don't know if we say goodbye or not, to Downing and Wines.
But we don't.
Does anyone know what the actual details are there? Because I've seen conflicting reports.
Yeah.
Whether we don't know if they're retiring or leaving Carlton or taking on another job at Carlton.
We're not sure.
We've seen contrasting reports.
Downey and Loyne's not playing, but the word retirement doesn't get mentioned anywhere.
No,
so a little bit unsure what's going on.
Yeah, I'm sure Nick and Shannon on the Heatley Show on Wednesday night will be able to give us a bit more of an update. They're a bit closer to the ground as far as the women go. And, of course, we've got Vesio booting 16 for the season.
First time it's been done.
First time it's been done, so absolutely well-deserved.
What did she kick 5 or 6 in one game, didn't she? 6, I think it was.
I'm not sure, but
yeah,
that works out at an average of just under 2 a game.
So it's not bad.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's some pretty good stuff has happened during the week. And since Thursday night, I've had an opportunity to calm down, breathe, take it all in, and start thinking about next week.
Yeah.
So watching Freo and GWS last night was a bit scary.
I didn't watch the game, to be honest.
I didn't watch the whole lot.
No,
saw bits.
Yeah. There wasn't. There was no interest of me to watch it because I was still salty as.
Yeah.
But I don't think Fremantle are going that well. They like we did touch on earlier. Mo Fife is unfortunately concussed. It's a bit facetious, unfortunately. Nobody wants to see anybody concussed, but it will help us when he's not
it's a blessing.
inside. So
yeah.
And like I said, they're not a tall side as well, so they've got their own injury issues. So this is going to springboard our season, I reckon.
All right, so thank you, John, for confirming that. The Heatley End show is back to Thursdays. Obviously, they couldn't do Thursdays because we were playing Thursdays. And Loins and Al are indeed retiring. Okay, thanks for that confirmation, JR.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute. Do we have a prize for best comment of the week?
Yes, we do.
Yay! Justin Matt Moore wins it. Matt Moore wins it. I like this show more than John and Trev's show.
Sorry, John. Yeah, thanks, Justin. Absolutely love you, mate.
Cheers, Justin. Let us know when we can catch up and buy you a beer. Yeah, George, I have to agree. Freo looked very quick.
They got some good young mids.
Look, I'm a bit worried because with our back line that we showed on Thursday, we're up against the likes of Shatowski, Taverner, Schultz, Brayshaw, Mundy even, and Chera. How the hell do we hold them back without doing something in our back line?
It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough. That's a good side.
Yeah.
For me, I think we just try and find that form that we played against Richmond because we obviously we didn't beat Richmond, but they didn't do a number on us. So we find that, and I reckon we've got them.
Yeah, well, something needs to happen.
Just go head to head with them.
The chopping block needs to happen in this week's list because there's no way we're going to hold those fellas back.
Yeah.
The only advantage we might have is it's a home game.
Yep.
And I mean, when you look at their possessions, they're up in the 30s. Our highest was 29 with Walshy.
Yeah.
In saying that, though, GWS was pretty rubbish.
Yep.
They did come back a bit.
Yeah.
But obviously not enough. But yeah, like the first half, I was genuinely shitting myself for next week.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't see the game, so I think Georgie was saying Freo looked very quick. Yeah, so
yeah, and you're right, George. Fredericks too, also dangerous as well. So look, I don't think we can rock up too cocky.
No, we just gotta, sort of get the bit in our mouth again, and then, try and do a little bit more. Because I mean, we didn't do a lot. I mean, I reckon I would love to have been a fly on the wall during the match analysis from the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
It would have been pretty. The heat would have been turned up, I reckon. On a
Spittle would have been flying around.
Yeah, for sure.
Look, yeah. What do you guys think? What's everyone's tips? Yes, agree. Fife is a huge loss for Freo next week.
Absolutely massive loss.
So we are lucky that's happened because they've got a pretty strong forward line.
Pretty strong midfield too, but
and midfield as well.
But so do we. We just didn't show up at all on Thursday night, and that's the top and bottom of it. We absolutely didn't. We show up to play, and we're gonna get a good chance to get the 4 points. But hopefully we do because we can't be going Owen again.
No more Owen. I'm fed up with Owen. All right, so
lose by 19 points.
Well, I was just about to ask, what does everyone think the results will be this week?
Yeah.
Lose by 19.
I've got.
I
reckon we're going to go bang. I'm gonna. Yep.
You reckon we're going to pants them or?
No, I don't know. It's going to be a full pantsing. I reckon we'll go bang. I reckon I'm going to call it Blues by 34.
We're going to flog them.
Oh, it's not quite a flogging, but it's a good solid win.
It's a flogging for us.
Yeah, this is true.
Look, I reckon we're only just going to get over the line.
Do you want to scrape in?
Blues by a point, Justin. Yeah, I'm kind of somewhere around there. I'm thinking kind of 7, maybe 8. Craig Mortlock says Blues by 28.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Good,
Yep.
Good 5-goal showing for sure.
Not bad. Good size. Right. So, just need the 4 points. Steve Andrews says.
Yeah, basically.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That'll get rid of Owen. And I just want to ask everyone a question. How do we beat Freo?
Turn up, man.
Yeah.
It's
Play 4 quarters.
I should play fucking 2 quarters, I reckon. Yeah, we just need to show up with a bit of intent. We just need a bit of passion for the jumper, a bit of passion for your mates. That's all it is. That's really all it is. We had it against Richmond. We just got a bit tired late. That's where it is for mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sharp with a bit of aggression.
Yeah. Look, and you're right, Georgie. Confidence. Good early start, and we'll win it.
Yeah.
So where's WA Baggers watching the game this weekend? I know that the WA Blues will be running a function at the Camfield.
That's Easter Sunday, isn't it?
It's Easter Sunday, so unfortunately we won't make it because of, we'll get together in Rockingham
small
area
kids and stuff. So
to get together with the family and watch the game. So where's everyone watching it? Let us know. And George says we'll win it by starting strong, hitting targets and laying some heavy tackles.
Yeah.
You watch, there'll be tackles all over the shop. We'll think we're watching rugby next week.
Yeah, and I won't mind them giving away a few extra free kicks because they're
give it a good go.
Trying to get that aggression happening. Sometimes that aggression can turn into being a bit overzealous, but give away a couple of free kicks. It's not going to hurt. It's not going to be too bad. So
yeah.
Start
by being tougher at selection table. Completely agree, Craig. I think now that we've got the depth, there is absolutely no reason why people shouldn't be stepping up.
No, they need to.
They need to.
They need to do it. If they're not going to do it for the jumper or for their mates, they might as well do it for themselves because if they don't, they're going to get dropped. So
well, that's right. Yeah.
Enough reasons to get the job done.
Justin says, I hate being humiliated by my mates because we're all hype every year and never deliver. Yeah, look, feeling the pain myself. And this points out something that I mentioned on one of the pages over the weekend. I've never really been one to rip into our players and all that sort of stuff.
Not on a personal level. But.
No, not on a personal level. But my kids are 19 and 17 now, and they don't even know why they support Carlton.
No, they do it because we do.
Because it's a family tradition.
Yeah.
And I remember when the kids were in primary school, they would get bullied for barracking for Carlton.
Yep, especially in WA.
Especially in a 2-horse town.
Yeah.
I think it's time that the club and the players remember that there's a whole generation of supporters that don't know why the club is so special.
Yeah.
They need to see it. They need to feel it. They need to experience it like we have.
Yeah.
And I think that's really all we can ask the players.
I tell you what I would have done if I was David Teague is I would have got the social media department at the footy club to pick out a few comments, obviously not the real, the vitriol and, calling out players personally and all that sort of business, but just from genuine comments from the supporters that were genuinely hurting after such a game on Thursday and show the players, put them up on the whiteboard, show the players this is what your supporters are feeling right now because it just wasn't up to scratch.
Yeah.
And let them sit there and read it and take in that the Collingwood Football Club is bigger than them. It's bigger than us. It's bigger. It's one of the biggest things going around, whether we're winning games or not. But it's such a passion. It's what a lot of people live for. Just for the weekend for the game of footy.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And
there's people like us that like to be involved in online things with Carlton Live as well throughout the week.
Yeah. There's just more to it than those boys. Oh yeah, we had a bit of a loss, and then dopey Plowman having a good giggle and nipple crippling his mate. So it was all bullshit.
Yeah.
They need to be a bit more accountable than that, because it means, it honestly seemed like it meant more to us than it did them. And
yeah,
that's a bit
absolutely.
of a worry.
Certainly, what we saw displayed on Thursday night, didn't feel like a rivalry.
It didn't.
On the field.
No, it didn't. No, you're quite right. You hit the nail on the head there. I mean, let's be realistic. It's the only real rivalry in the AFL.
Yep.
Realistically, I mean,
forget about Essendon. Forget about Hawthorn.
Yeah, I mean, Carlton Essendon's not bad, but yeah, forget about even Fremantle and West Coast isn't a real rivalry, because the moment either of them play a Victorian team, they go for their own rival. It's just their rivalry is just anybody from the eastern states. So.
Yep.
And it just wasn't there. The players need to get back to that. Maybe wheel in a couple of old greats like Buzz or Sticks, or these old greats, and let them tell you what the rivalry means to them.
As George says, they need a John Elliott spray. Completely agree.
Yep, 100%.
And maybe like George has said and you have said, get some of the old greats in, just not even taking any prisoners and just giving it to them.
Yep.
So, yeah, look, and when you consider our family, there's at least 100 years of Carlton supporter, barracking.
Yep.
For our dear grandmother, who would have been 101, 100 this year, rest her soul. And that has been a strong, rich tradition that's gone throughout our family, throughout our cousins and parents, and we've thankfully, in a 2-horse town, been able to carry that on with our own kids.
Yep.
I actually lost 2 of my kids to the Eagles for a while. And you couldn't blame them, because we weren't doing much.
We weren't competing in finals regularly and winning games regularly and stuff like that. So
yeah, and you remember that day that they came back, the girls? Yeah,
that was when we beat Freo.
That was when we beat Freo here.
That was Brendan Bolton's first win for Carlton.
Yeah, and they finally realised what the electricity is, what the feeling is all about. They're up and about. We're in the cheer squad bay, up and about, all their family with them, and they came back to the fold, and now they're members.
Yep.
So yeah,
but that's just what it means. That's what we need to get back to the players. That it's more than a game of football. It's more than their job. I mean, sometimes we forget that it's their job and their livelihood that gets it done, but it's more than that. It's 100% more than that.
Yeah, absolutely. Mac Champion, how you going, Mac? Thanks for joining us. We played multi-premierships team and a regular top 4 team who are fighting to stay top 8. We need to close their time down with the ball and show more composure, kicking into the forward line, and have better changes of gears. No, you're right. Yep, and I think that's why JR wants to rip up the midfield.
Yep. Yeah, no pressure coming up and down the field. So
Yep,
100%.
All right. So I think we'll wrap this up shortly.
Wrapping this up.
Yep. We always like to do Rude Lid of the Week.
Rude Lid of the Week to finish off.
Yep.
So there's a couple of contenders. John Noble.
John Noble.
From the Filth. Yeah, he's as ugly as a hatful of arseholes.
Yeah.
So he's definitely Rude Lid of the Week. Can't get a picture of him up. We're gonna learn how to get pictures up.
Yeah, I don't know how to drive that bit.
But yeah, get amongst John Noble. He's like I said, he's as ugly as they come. So yeah, definitely.
So let's finish up on our Goose of the Week.
There were some good contenders. Good contenders.
Yeah, so we had some great suggestions.
JR nominated Trev.
Yep.
Plowman got many nominations.
Plowman.
Levi.
Yep, Levi. The umpire that didn't pay out of bounds on Gibbons.
Yep. Who are we going with?
Look, I think it's going to have to be Plowman.
I think it does,
Yeah.
Him playing tickle.
Sorry, Trev, you might win it another week.
Yeah, next time JR nominates you. Yeah, definitely Plow. Having a tickle fest with Grundy after the game, not a good look.
No,
not for mine.
No, so...
Especially after playing terribly, so...
Let's hope Plowman is awarded with that, with session in the twos.
Yep.
When it's back.
Yep.
Now.
Yep. Cool.
Oh, Brett, last in message before we wrap it up. I'm calling it, guys. Harry to kick 7 this week and Cripps to play a blinder.
Cripps to play a blinder. Yeah,
I'm keen to go with that.
I'm all about it. Yep. Beautiful.
Nice work, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for coming over to a bit of a chat and sharing some of your highlights and lowlights. And stuff.
Yeah. We will be back next Monday.
We certainly will.
We'll check with the bosses to see if we can go earlier, given it's Easter Monday.
Yep.
So that I imagine everyone in WA will not be working. Well, most people won't be working. Some people do.
WA ones might be. Well, I suppose everyone will be a bit dusty, given it is a public holiday. And we
won't go too early because we might be dusty. So thanks, guys, and thanks, John. Yes, great show. One of the other guys said it's better than yours, so thanks for that. All right, catch you later, and
thanks, guys.
Go Blues to beat Purple People Eaters.
Go the Blues.